Alrighty, how's it going, my fellow snail sufferers? I have an interesting topic for you guys today that I think you guys will enjoy. But firstly, if you're interested in becoming a member, the option is now available. Scroll below and you can click the join button or the link in the description. Of course, this is not required. I'll never lock my videos behind a membership wall, but it does give perks. Make sure to check it out. As per usual, I will be discussing tech that either was never officially made or never left the drawing board. Therefore, if I do miss something, I apologize. As for the title, what I mean by obscure are missiles I don't see talked about a lot. If they were cancelled or never made it into full production, they will likely be on this list. I am also willing to make this a series. Make sure to comment about other missiles that I do not mention here. Who knows, maybe one day my video could be used for Gaijin to add one of these missiles. Either way, I always try my best to respond to comments, and as always, everything will be timestamped below. Let's begin. Starting off, we have the AIM-7B Sparrow II, which was an advanced air-to-air, and someone's fucking calling me, which was an advanced air-to-air missile project that represented a significant technological leap for its time, as it would have been one of the first Fox-3s ever produced. The AIM-7B was originally developed under the designation AAM-N-3 and was meant to represent a major evolution from the earlier semi-active radar Sparrows that required a constant illumination of the opposing aircrafts. Douglas Aircraft Company began examining and equipping the Sparrow with an active radar seeker as early as 1950. When standardized naming conventions were established in 1962, the original Sparrow 1 became the AIM-7A, and the cancelled Sparrow 2 was retroactively designated as the AIM-7B, despite both being tested and or in service at that time. The key technological innovation of the AIM-7B was its active radar seeker, which turned the SAR missile we know and love into a fire and forget weapon system. This was a major achievement for the AIM-7s as it didn't need continuous illumination from the launching aircraft. This would also allow it to be fired at multiple targets at the same time. This missile was originally designed for the F-5D Skylancer fighter aircraft. However, when the F-5D program got cancelled in 1956, the Canadian government took over development with plans to arm their CF-105 Aero interceptors with this newly made advanced missile. However, like the F-5D Skylancer, the CF-105 would be cancelled on February 20th, 1959, due to rising costs and shifting defense strategies. This ultimately was a significant setback for active radar missile technology, which we wouldn't see any new improvements or additions until the AIM-54 Phoenix, which is just absolutely insane. It was very unfortunate, and I do believe that Gaijin could find a way to add the AIM-7B, even though it wasn't fully used too much and wasn't really developed fully. I think it would be cool to have a active radar Sparrow. It probably wouldn't be too good. Hey, it's an idea. What missile was aimed to be the Navy's replacement of the AIM-54 in the mid-80s? The AIM-152. This projected AAM was to be significantly smaller and lighter than the Phoenix, but was to have a longer range and a speed of at least Mach 3. Some key technologies for these goals were having an integral rocket/ramjet propulsion and a dual IR radar guidance. There were two variants of this missile, produced by two separate entities, one being Hughes, or also known as Raytheon, and the other being Westinghouse. Raytheon's AIM-152 was based on an ACIMD design and uses a hybrid solid rocket ramjet propulsion system, something akin to like a Meteor missile, which offered at higher speeds at the maximum range. It was designed to use an inertial mid-course guidance with similar data link capabilities to the AIM-120 AMRAAM, as well as having a dual active radar/IR seeker for terminal homing. The Westinghouse design offered a significantly smaller design using a multi-pulse solid propellant rocket motor for its propulsion. Built with an inertial navigation system with a dual-band semi-active radar homing for mid-course guidance updates, as well as an electro-optical sensor for autonomous terminal homing. A backup IR seeker was also envisioned in case the primary guidance would fail. The launching aircraft would use a targeting pod with a forward and AFT radar, so the aircraft would not need to fly towards the target to illuminate it. This missile was planned in the late 80s as defense against the Soviet Tu-22 and the Tu-160 long-range supersonic bombers. However, after the end of the Cold War, this threat has effectively vanished, and therefore the AAM program was cancelled in 1992 before any of the designs had been selected for development. However, shortly before cancellation, the official designation AIM-152A had been allocated to the projected AAM. As said, no AIM-152A missiles were ever officially built. The figures shown on screen are estimates and or design requirements for this missile. Finally, we have the final missile in today's video, the Sky Sword II, also known as the TC-2. This is a Taiwanese beyond visual range air-to-air missile developed by NCSIST. The development of the Sky Sword II began in 1983, specifically to arm Taiwan's AIDC FCK-1 IDF fighter, which had been approved in 1982. This was an effort to build upon the earlier Sky Sword I short-range missile, shifting focus to an active radar-guided fire-and-forget weapon. The missile achieved initial operational capability with the Republic of China Air Force in 1995, which became Taiwan's first domestically developed BVR missile. This missile featured the typical things found in an active radar missile, such as inertial navigation systems for launch and early flight phases. It is said to have one-way data link, however no official reports state otherwise. It also features a thrust vectoring booster, which was built in to increase its maneuverability and range during the launch phase. It also has speeds up to Mach 6, making it one of the fastest air-to-air missiles in the world. There are multiple variants and adaptations of this missile, such as the TC-2N, which is the naval variant adapted for naval applications and installed on ships in quad-pack configuration used for air defense. The TC-2A, which is an anti-radiation variant, similar to the AGM-88 HARM, it was developed to fill the requirement for an anti-radiation missile to arm one on the Taiwanese fighter. It has a reported range of about 100 kilometers. And a missile known as the Land Sword II, which is a ground variant that features the missile package in a sealed container launcher built for a semi-mobile anti-aircraft SAM system. When I discuss these missiles, these are things that I would like to see added to the game, either as an event missile or main tree missiles for variety. While something like the AIM-152A was never actually produced, it still remains as a cool concept for variety within missile usage. There's a high chance that we may never see the AIM-7B or the AIM-152 added to the game. While we are almost guaranteed to see something like the Sky Sword at some point, it begs the question, should Gaijin add missiles like the ones previously mentioned, or should it be kept strictly to what was produced and or serviced? At the very least, we could potentially see them added to event planes. Let me know down below in the comment section. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing. It genuinely helps the channel grow. Also, drop a comment down below. I try my best to respond to as many as I can. If you want to see this turn into a full series, leave your missile suggestions down there too. I'll start putting together a list of what you guys want covered next. I'm thinking there's a lot more we can dive into with this. But yeah, that's it for me today, my fellow snail sufferers. This is R60, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.